Your phone is secure. The network isn't. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds wrong, right? Especially if you've poured hours and a ton of effort into locking down your device. And that's exactly the tension we're going to pull apart in this explainer.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by talking about the myth of the secure phone, and yeah, we'll give you credit for all the hard work you've done. Then we're diving into this zone that's completely beyond your control. We'll look at what the network can actually see, how the entire system is built on a trust that's designed to be abused, why a lot of the common solutions just don't work here, and finally, how to think about the threat in a whole new way.
All right, let's kick things off by stating a simple fact. You've probably done everything right. You've followed the guides, you've listened to the experts, you've been incredibly diligent about securing that piece of hardware in your pocket. I mean, this list probably looks pretty familiar, right? You went out and bought a secure phone, maybe a Pixel. You hardened the OS, maybe you even flashed something like Graphene OS on it. You went through every single app meticulously and shut down permissions they didn't need. You steer clear of shady apps, and you've gotten smart enough to know that most VPN marketing is, well, just marketing. On paper, your device is a fortress.
And yet, you're still exposed. Not because you messed up, not because you missed a step. It's because the biggest vulnerability was never on your device to begin with. See, modern surveillance doesn't need to get on your phone. It starts way before your data even hits the internet. It starts at the network.
And this brings us to this hidden part of your phone, a place that is totally, completely outside the control of your operating system. It's a black box where all your settings, all your permissions, all that hardening work, it means absolutely nothing.
We are talking about the baseband processor. The easiest way to think about this is that there is a second computer living inside your phone. It has its own processor, its own firmware, its own little operating system, and its only job is to talk to the cell tower. Your main OS, the one you interact with, has almost no idea what the baseband is up to. It is, by design, an architectural blind spot.
So look at this breakdown. On the left, that's your world, the OS you control. You've got app sandboxing, file encryption. You can even see app traffic with TLS. That's your domain. But on the right, that's the baseband's world. And it's controlled by the network. It's handling the deep-level radio stuff, authenticating your SIM card, responding to location pings, and seamlessly handing you off from one tower to the next as you move.
So here's the absolute key takeaway. The relationship between your phone and the network, it's not a conversation. It's not a negotiation. The network gives the orders, and that little baseband computer in your phone just does what it's told. And this isn't some bug that can be patched. It is the fundamental way cellular communication has been designed by the telcos from day one.
Okay, so what's the big deal? What are the real-world consequences of this setup? Well, it means that no matter how good your end-to-end encryption is, the network sees a staggering amount of information about you. Why? Because metadata doesn't care one bit about your encryption.
This is the raw data the network uses to build a file on you. It always sees your radio identity. Things like your IMSI, which is basically your SIM card's permanent serial number, and other temporary IDs. It sees your precise location, and I mean precise, using data from multiple towers and the signal's travel time to pinpoint you. It logs your behavior, when you connect, where you go, what hours you're active, and it sees all the constant background chatter, the signaling that happens even when your phone is just sitting in your pocket. An idle phone is never truly silent.
And over time, all of this metadata paints a fingerprint that is uniquely you. This is something called temporal correlation. The network might not even need a permanent ID for you, because if it sees the same anonymous device leave the same house at 8 a.m. every day, travel the same route to work, and go silent in the same location every night, well, that anonymous device isn't anonymous anymore, is it? Your routine, your behavior, that becomes your real identifier.
Now, you might think this all sounds like some sophisticated hack, but it's not. The vulnerabilities that allow for this kind of tracking, they are features, not bugs. They exist because the entire global cellular system was built on a model of trust that is now, by its very nature, structurally abused.
The protocols have gotten new names over the years, right? From the old SS7 system to Diameter for 4G, and now the new 5G core. But the core philosophy has never changed. All of these systems were designed with one assumption, that all telecom operators could trust each other. This means that anyone who can get access to this trusted network can basically ask it where you are, and the system is designed to happily give them the answer.
And no, 5G did not fix this. It's actually super important to understand that there are two kinds of 5G. Most of what's out there today is called non-standalone, or NSA.
All that means is you've got a new, fast 5G radio talking to the same old 4G core network, so you're inheriting all the old problems. Then there's Standalone, or SA, which uses a true 5G core. It's a bit better, it encrypts your permanent ID, but it does absolutely nothing to hide your location or your patterns. So you get a slightly better identity protection, but you're still nowhere near anonymous.
So the natural reaction to all this is to reach for our favorite tools. But this is exactly where things get tricky, because the tools that work wonders in other situations just don't measure up on a cellular network.
Let's talk about VPNs. The difference between using one on Wi-Fi versus cellular is night and day. On Wi-Fi, your VPN kicks in right away. The Wi-Fi router and your internet provider just see a jumble of encrypted data that isn't tied to your real-world identity. It genuinely reduces what they can see. But on cellular, your VPN only starts after the baseband has already done its thing. By the time your VPN tunnel is up, the network already knows who you are, and where you've been. It's too late. The VPN protects your data's content, sure, but it does absolutely nothing against all that network-level metadata collection.
So let's be really clear here. Using Wi-Fi does not make you invisible. But what it does do is make you less structurally traceable. On cellular, you are being tracked by design 24/7. On Wi-Fi, you get to choose when and where you connect. The power dynamic shifts. You are changing the observer, and in doing so, you take back a little bit of control.
Okay, all of this information basically forces us to tear up our old rulebook. We have to stop thinking about security as a simple on or off switch and start building a smarter, more realistic threat model. And that begins by asking way better questions.
The question is not, can I be invisible on a cell network? Let's just get that out of the way. The answer is no, a hard no. The real strategic question we all need to be asking is this: who can exploit my network data, and what would it cost them? Is your adversary a massive nation-state? A data broker buying info for pennies? Local cops? The answer to that question changes absolutely everything.
In this, let's see what a secure phone actually does. All that hardening work wasn't for nothing. What it does is dramatically raise the cost and the difficulty of an attack. It gets rid of all the low-hanging fruit, the cheap and easy hacks. It stops random malicious apps in their tracks. But, and this is the big one, what it does not do, what it cannot do, is stop the fundamental, built-in observation capabilities of the cellular network itself.
So when you put all of these pieces together, you land on a really powerful and, kind of sobering new reality. Modern mobile security isn't about being invisible. It never has been.
It's about understanding, with perfect clarity, what you cannot hide. It's about accepting that network-level observation is a fact of life, and then building your security model around that fact, not against it. Real security starts right at the point where the illusion of total control ends.